Hello everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is your Som Sundar from SDET Coach. So today let's going to discuss top Cucumber interview questions for BDD and test automation. And these questions are for the experience range between 2 to 8 years of experience. Okay, let's start with the interview questions. Guys, today let's also discuss the answers along with the interview questions. Okay, and these are frequently asked. Please be thorough with the interview questions. So let's start with the first question. What is Cucumber and how does it support BDD? Cucumber is a tool for behavior development driven development. It allows writing test scenarios in a plain language using Gherkin syntax, which bridges the communication gap between non-technical and technical stakeholders. Non-technical stakeholders means business analyst, product owners, and technical people means developers and those who are having the technical knowledge. Okay. Uh, Guys, I have given and mentioned here the interview ready answers. Okay. So I have not described in a lengthy way. I have kept it in sweet and short format for quick reference. Okay. In the notes that I have prepared, I have elaborated in depth. Okay. Now let's jump into the next interview question. What are the key components of a Cucumber test framework? Feature files, step definitions, hooks, runner class. Feature files, it contains test scenarios written in Gherkin language. Step definitions maps the Gherkin steps to executable code. Hooks, which means pre or post conditions executed before or after the test scenarios. Runner class manages the execution of the test and integrate with the test framework. Now let's jump into the next question. Explain Gherkin syntax and its keywords. Gherkin is a simple language for writing test scenario in human readable format. Some of the key Gherkin keywords are feature, scenario, given, when, then, and but. Okay, so you can go through the answer that I have provided in the section. And then how do you manage reusable steps in Cucumber? You can do that by using parameterized steps and regular expressions in the step definition files. And we can do that by using the sharing common logics, which helps reduce the code duplication and makes the test more maintainable. Okay, so this is how we can reuse the test steps in Cucumber. So please go through the interview answer that I have prepared. Now let's discuss the next question. What is the role of runner class in Cucumber? It's a common question where we can use it to trigger the execution of the Cucumber test, and you can give the syntax on how it is written and what does it contains as a configuration options. Then how do you handle test data in Cucumber scenario? So this is the next question. So we can handle test data using different ways. One using the data tables, scenario outlines, and external files. I have elaborated for each and every key topic with a certain description, so please go through that. Okay, let's discuss the next question. What are hooks in Cucumber and how do you use them? So hooks are blocks of code that run before or after the each scenario or after the before or after the steps. Okay, so we can use them. So also you can go through the clear explanation that I have given. So let's quickly jump into the next question. Guys, I try to keep it very short and simple. I do not go and drag anything. So I want to keep it short and sweet for interview ready. So I'm explaining things at high level. Please go through the notes and documents for better understanding and proper learning. Okay. So let's jump into the next question directly. How would you implement tagging in Cucumber and why it is useful? We can use tags for this and you can see the elaborated answer. Let's jump into the next question. Explain how Cucumber integrates with Selenium. Okay. So Cucumber integrates with Selenium by using step definitions, where Gherkin steps are mapped to Selenium WebDriver code. So this is the high level answer. You can go through the solution that I have given. What is a scenario outline? Let's jump into the next question. Sorry. What is a scenario outline and how does it differ from a regular scenario? To pass the different sets of data, we use scenario outline, and it uses the examples keyword to specify the data inputs. A regular scenario runs only once with a specific set of conditions. Now let's directly jump into the 11th question. What is the difference between background and scenario in Cucumber? Background keyword is used to define the common steps. If you have worked with Cucumber, you'll get to know exactly what it is, or you can start doing some sample framework uh, on your own. So this background keyword helps in defining the common steps that should be run before each scenario in a feature file. Okay, and a scenario on the other hand defines a single test case. How would you handle dependencies between scenarios in Cucumber? Cucumber discourages scenario dependencies as scenarios should be independent to ensure test reliability. And then you can get another question like how can you generate a Cucumber report and what are the common reporting plugins? You can see the answer. Like you need to install or include some of the plugins like Cucumber HTML report, JSON report, or indexed reports, and you can define that in the runner class while executing the code. Let's jump into the direct. Let's jump into the next question directly. So, how would you handle failed scenarios in Cucumber? So, we can do that using rerun plugin, and we can try that using retry mechanism, and also we can do that using hooks upon test failure. The next question goes like, can Cucumber be integrated with continuous integration tools and how? Yes, definitely. We can integrate Cucumber with the continuous integration tools like Jenkins and GitLab, and we can have the plugins installed, respective plugin installed, and then if needed, and then you can directly use any tools like Jenkins for executing the tests by creating the builds. Okay, so these are some of the important interview questions. I kindly request you to go through thoroughly. So all the best for your interview. So finally, guys, I have prepared a bulk of interview questions with dedicated and hard work of my own. So day and night, I have gathered the interview questions. Topic wise, I have segregated properly, and then once if you're able to go through the notes, I definitely guarantee that you do not need any additional course or any other things to clear the interview. So I have given each and every answer with a clear description and a sample example. So please do check out, and if you have any doubts or concerns, please raise it in comment box. Thank you. Thank you so much for watching my video. All the best for your interview.